Welcome back to another video. I know I said this in another part, but this is going to be the best part of the Integra build. We're going to start off a little slow with some engine bay work. You can see it's kind of sanded down. I put some paint stripper on it, let it sit for a while, pressure wash it off. You can see there it is. It's called Citrus Strip. This is the first time I was ever using it. You're supposed to let it sit for like a day. I think it was 24 hours, and you put some plastic over it. So I took a couple videos of me putting it on. Then there's the plastic on everything. I think I could have done it better by placing the plastic down a little more or using a little more of the Citrus Strip, but I was being cheap as always. Here are the knuckles, brand new ball joints, brand new wheel bearings. I did leave the hubs on there just because I didn't order new hubs, but I did put all of those wheel studs are brand new. Here's the engine bay after I pressure washed all of that stuff off, looking way better. Obviously there's still a lot of sanding that has to get done, but it cut out a lot of work that we would have had to do without it, if that makes sense. So I went ahead and sanded the rest, and now it's on to priming. This is sped up, it's a little bit shaky because it's sped up. It looked pretty good slowed down, but I didn't want to have another video that was just a bunch of boring parts, so I'm trying to change things up a little bit. Hopefully the camera footage or the lack of the boring stuff makes up for the crappy camera footage. But the primer went on pretty nice, I'd say. I like priming stuff because the cans make it easy and you get like the first sneak peek of what everything's gonna look like before doing it all, so you can make sure everything looks nice and how you want it, I guess. After this, I let the primer dry and I sanded it down with probably 400 grit, I think, maybe 220 or 320, something like that. Then I went ahead and painted it. This is the engine bay color I decided on. I think it goes great with the purple on the outside, and it's different from what I've done. It looked decent when I was spraying it. It went on too thick, which was probably my fault. But I got some runs in it, so I had to sand it all down again and respray. I didn't get any video of that because it's just boring. So yeah, here's just me spraying the rest of the engine bay. Sorry about the video again. I'll do better. I didn't think I was gonna speed this up, but I also wanted to use all the footage and I didn't want it to be that long, so the only option is speeding it up. But yeah, pretty much the exact same as the clip before this, just a different color. You can see here I'm struggling finding out a good way to hold that up so I can paint the underneath. I had it set up for a second, and then it ended up falling down when I let it all dry, which kind of annoying, but whatever. I fixed that spot after everything. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this in the comment. I'm really curious to see your opinion on if you think it matches with the purple or not. Alright, here's the Integra so far. I have the fenders, like a couple bolts are on just to have them placed there, both sides. Headlights aren't bolted to anything at all. The bumper just zip tied right there, and zip tied right there. Essentially what I'm doing, also yeah, there's jack stands holding the bottom of it up. Essentially what I'm doing is setting up everything to get ready to make this front end for it. So with nothing bolted on, obviously I gotta make something to hold the headlights and the bumper. So the plan here, there's this bolt. I'll put a plate on that and have this run diagonally until the bottom of the headlight. Then it'll be like this. Then obviously down here it'll be like that, and then back diagonal to this bolt. And then I'll have some bracing on the bottom, obviously some radiator mount, intercooler mount, stuff like that. I never did show you guys what size radiator I'm gonna put in. This thing is absolutely massive. You can see compared to my hand, it's almost the whole thing. I also got this huge intercooler. I haven't I don't really know if it's gonna fit, to be honest. I might cut the bumper out a little bit more and maybe put like a lip or something, because you can see the traction bar sticks out a good bit. So if I can have the intercooler just a little bit higher than the traction bar, I think we'll be good. Only problem with all this is there's not much room for intercooler piping. But I'm gonna get this front end figured out, and you know, once I have that done, it'll be a lot easier to go from there. All right, here's what we got going on so far. You can see it took quite a bit of time actually, but I've been trying to make sure both sides are pretty symmetrical. It's pretty much centered. So yeah, the headlights fit in good. I'm gonna have to have like an L shape that comes up so you can bolt one of them in, but yeah. Okay, so wiring for the Integra, we got VTEC solenoid, coolant temp sensor right there, going to the Dizzy. I do not have a plug for this yet, but I'll get one eventually. I haven't decided if I'm gonna do OBD1 or OBD2. Got air temp labeled here. It's gonna be on the intercooler piping, throttle position sensor. You can see it follows down. This is where I'm gonna put either a bulkhead or a couple of connectors. You can see I have some Deutsch connectors over here. Then we have the fuel injectors. I try to do it as clean as possible. Obviously nothing's loomed yet, because you have two go down here, two go down here. Usually I'll do all four going down to the middle, but as you can see, it's closed right there, so not a huge deal, but definitely a change from what I'm doing. Here you can see fuel pressure. I spaced it and gave it a little bit more just in case. I don't have the correct fuel rail yet, but I'll get one eventually, or I'll just tap that one. Alternator, with Fuel Tech, you only have to run one wire to essentially turn it on, I guess. Down here, oil pressure sensor. You can see everything is taped up nicely. Also, I have this little guy holding everything up to keep the wiring harness out of the way of anything. So nice and tucked. And yeah, I'll update you guys when I loom it all up and it looks all nice. All right, Integra update. You can see the motor is in. It was actually extremely painful. I'm not sure why. It's almost like these two side motor mounts aren't the right ones, if that makes sense. There was just way too much space in between. It was really hard to connect one and get the other one to fit. I had to loosen these and loosen this, and it was just the biggest pain ever, actually. But it's in, so don't worry about all that. It's in there. Now I could move on with some stuff. Obviously this isn't the turbo I'm gonna be using. I don't know if I showed you guys, get a better angle, but there is some insane play. But yeah, old turbo, max speeding rods, journal bang. It's bound to happen. It was on the hatch, but just put it on this for mock-up. Here we got the radiator for it, the intercooler, so I gotta make some mounts for that. But now I have a pretty good idea of how much room I have, because obviously the motor's in here. And yeah, I'm feeling a lot more motivated to do some more stuff on it, just because of how far I've gotten. So yeah, I'll update you guys when I get some more done. Okay, so I had to do quite a lot to make this intercooler fit. First thing I had to do was chop this end off. I welded a plate on there. I didn't have a long enough plate, so I welded two plates together and then welded that on there. Then I have the intake of it welded on here. This is just a piece of intercooler piping I had, so welded that on there. That will go to the turbo easily now, instead of trying to find a way to go around or something. Obviously on the Integra there's not like any kind of room on the side to go under. This is like the only way to come up, and that would just look stupid, so this works out good. Then I went ahead and made some mounts. This one was already welded on, but The bottom ones didn't have any, so I welded some aluminum plate to the bottom. I'm obviously gonna clean up the corners, make it a little like this, I guess, so it just looks more appealing. But you can see those down there, and then I made this mount. It's off-centered, but I don't think it's really gonna be noticeable that much once the headlights and everything are on, so that came out pretty decent. Now I'm gonna make some intercooler piping for it. You can see over here, welding up some intercooler piping. Also, I just started TIG welding aluminum, so I'm not the best at it. I'm obviously trying to get better. That's why I'm welding a bunch on this car. So then when it comes to the nicer stuff like the CRX or the Civic, I got it down, you know? So obviously this could be kind of the test car. And then, yeah, we could go from there. But that's what we got going on so far. I still got to make some mounts for the headlights. The bumper is being difficult. It came all warped, so I just have it outside sitting up. So hopefully that piece will raise up. Yeah, I don't know what else to do, obviously, or not obviously. I got the sides tied because it was spread out a bunch. Really weird stuff. But hopefully there's enough sun today. It's pretty cloudy, but hopefully it'll get the job done. But yeah, I'll update you guys when I got some more done. This isn't gonna be the turbo I'm using, so I'm not gonna route anything on this side until I get the proper turbo. But I am going to finish this side and get a blow-off valve welded on to the intercooler piping. Not the actual blow-off valve, but the piece. Let's see if I can find it. Somewhere around here. But yeah. All right, so I got this side done. I didn't have a 90 that had a long enough side on it, so I welded an extra piece right there. Obviously that's not the same color. I think I'm gonna paint all the intercooler piping black. We got this, goes up, welded it right there, welded it right there. Let's see, I think it looks pretty good. Then you can see the blow-off valve piece right there, the way I'm gonna set this up. Got this knockoff HKS one. Let's see, so either I'm gonna have this straight, get it in the slot, like this, pointing the nipple towards the engine like that, or I was just playing with another idea of putting the nipple like this and routing the line kind of backwards, and then it's straight with the body. So I haven't decided yet, but that is gonna be where the blow-off is gonna go. And yeah, I think it came out pretty good. So we got a pretty huge update. You can see I made a mount for the bumper. It's not the prettiest. I'm gonna pull this off, probably grind down some welds and paint it. Probably gonna be matte black, but you can see the two outer ones are done. I just welded this one up, so I'm gonna drill a hole, finish welding that. And yeah, the radiator support is almost done. The bumper is super wonky from when it got shipped. It's too wide. So I got it pulled in this way and I got it pulled in that way. And there's another thing another bracket I made that pushes it up on both corners just so the fitment's pretty okay. But not bad. Now I gotta wire in some stuff. The last piece on the radiator support is the radiator. Funny enough, I got to mount up the radiator, and then this should be good for paint. Actually, I got to do hood pins as well. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. That's gonna be it for this video. If you guys liked it, please drop a like and comment what I could do better on. Thank you.